appear singularly, but it's very uncommon because it's a monopole, right?
Right.
Like I said, that there's that convection activity. That actually creates the magnetic fields around the sun, right?
Right.
And so when sunspots appear, generally they appear in pairs because one represents magnetic north and the other represents magnetic south. And along these magnetic fields, other solar activity can occur, right? You've got solar prominences, which is actually an arc of, I think, particles and radiation that can extend, I think, 1,000 kilometers outside of the sun's atmosphere, right?
Yeah, they can, and they last for 2 or 3 months. It's like a temporary thing.
Right, and these things are, it's kind of like an arc of electricity, except a lot bigger.
Right.
And every once in a while they erupt into coronal mass ejections.
Right, which is the band name.
Is it?
Coronal mass ejection.
That's a good one,
Sure.
actually.
I got one more thing on sunspots, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Is, they break through their magnetic fields that break through the surface, but they can only exit and re-enter through other sunspots.
Really?
Which I thought was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
They also occur on 11-year cycles, right?
Solar cycle.
A full solar cycle is 22 years, so every 11 years it either peaks or troughs. And what's interesting is, 2012?
Yeah.
Everybody's like, 2012 podcast.
Right.
That is the predicted peak of this solar cycle maximum that we're in. So you've got these sunspots. The sunspot activity is going to pick up. When sunspots pick up, solar prominences pick up. When there's more solar prominences, there's more coronal mass ejections. When there's more coronal mass ejections, the Earth is inundated with radiation and radioactive particles, right?
Right.
They hit the Earth's atmosphere and actually mess with the magnetic field. This accounts for the aurora borealis and australis, right?
Right.
And when enough of them hit the Earth's atmosphere and they actually ionize, they interfere with our electrical activity.
Right, they cause like blackouts.
Right, which is why a lot of people think that 2012 will have all these catastrophes.
Right, that makes sense.
But really it's just part of a 22-year cycle of the sun.
So calm down, all you Mayans.
Exactly. No, the Mayans don't think that.
No, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Josh?
Yes.
You want to talk about the color of the sun real quick?
Yeah.
Because this is a cool little fact that I bet most people don't know. Because most people say the sun is yellow or orange. Not true. The sun is actually white. Sunlight is actually white. Do you know why it changes?
Why?
The atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
The atmosphere acts as a filter for a setting sun, and that's when it changes its color.
Well, it is white. It does appear white, but it's actually made up of all the colors of the spectrum.
Right.
Which is why you can take a prism and the different colors, and you have Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon album cover.
Right.
Yeah.
Got another couple of cool facts.
What?
Rotation of the sun. Everyone knows it makes a complete rotation in about a month. But because it's a gas, basically, it's different parts rotate at different rates. So gas near the equator takes 25 days to rotate, let's say, and gas at higher latitudes may take as many as like 3 more extra days.
Right.
Pretty cool. So it's rotating at different rates.
It is, because it's a ball of gas.
Exactly. And I got one more. You ready for this one?
Sure.
About the vibration?
Yeah, this is pretty cool too, I thought.
I had no idea. The sun vibrates constantly like a bell that is continuously struck.
Right, creating sound waves. But there's 2 minutes between intervals.
Yes, and 10 million individual tones at the same time.
Right, so we could, if our hearing was, I guess, different, I don't know if better is the right word, but if we had a different type of hearing, we would be able to hear vibrations coming off of the sun. They actually do hit the Earth, but like I said, in 2 minute intervals. The slowest distance between intervals time-wise that humans can hear is the 20th of a second.
Right.
So it's constantly making a sound, we just can't hear it. Which leads me to the question. If the sun makes a sound while it's vibrating, can you hear it?
I bet those blue people in Avatar.
I'll never see that movie.
You should.
Never.
You're going to be that guy?
Yeah.
Okay. It's fine.
Hey Josh, I want to talk about one of our most loyal and longest running sponsors, Stamps.com.
Yes!
Stamps save you time and money, which you can use to grow your business. That's a big deal. With Stamps.com, you can mail any letter or any package using just a computer in your home and a printer in your home, and then the mail person picks it up, and you smile and say, have a good day, and your business is done.
Plus, Chuck, let's not beat around the bush any longer. The main thing about Stamps.com, you can avoid the hassle at the post office.
Yeah, and who wants to deal with that, right?
Nobody.
Just click print mail and you're done. And unlike the post office, it never closes. You can print all that stuff at your own convenience 24/7, 7 days a week.
Yep, and right now you too can enjoy the Stamps.com service with a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitments. Go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in STUFF. That's Stamps.com, enter stuff.
Stamps.com, never go.
I got a couple of other stats for you, Josh, if you're into it.
Why not?
Fewer than 5% of the stars in the Milky Way are brighter or more massive than the sun, but some are more than 100,000 times as bright. Isn't that crazy?
Yes, that is pretty cool, actually.
And if you go in the other way, some stars are less than 1/10,000th as bright as the sun.
Which is kind of nuts, but really, I mean, stat-wise, we have a fairly mediocre sun.
Yeah, it does the trick, though.
Yes, it does do the trick, and it should for about the next 5 billion years, like we said.
Yeah, the sun is middle-aged right now, right? It's about halfway through.
Sure. It's starting to look into wearing tracksuits all the time out in public.
Exactly.
And after about 5 billion years, it's going to run out of fuel.
Yeah, run out of hydrogen. And what happens then?
Well, that's the core is going to run, but it's going to have the fuel to create these nuclear reactions.
Right.
Which, remember, we said that the sun is a bunch of nuclear reactions, this gravity smashing things together, and then the energy escaping.
Right.
So it's this constant push and pull. But when it runs out of fuel, there's going to be nothing but pull. There won't be any push any longer, right?
Right. It's bad news for the core.
Right. But before this happens, when this kicks off, Chuck, it's going to turn into a
red giant.
Right. And this red giant is, you know how the sun just kind of heats the earth?
Yes.
Well, that's not going to happen. I mean, it'll heat the earth, but it's also going to vaporize it when it turns into a red giant.
Exactly, which is the bad news for us.
Well, we probably won't be around. We'll be long gone. There'll be no trace of humanity anywhere.
Yeah, in 5 billion years?
No way.
I would think not.
I don't know that we have that much staying power.
No.
And so the sun is going to vaporize the earth, which is probably pretty wicked cool to see when that does happen. After that, the core will be... Then the core will turn into carbon. I misspoke earlier, right?
Right, which just cools it down.
Right, and then as it cools, it'll turn into a white dwarf, and then a black dwarf.
Eventually, yes.
And then it'll just be some Hulk that won't even resemble our sun anymore.
Right, and once this whole process starts, it's going to take several billion years to even complete that process.
Right.
So it's not like it happens overnight or anything.
Probably about 10 billion years from now, the sun will just be this massive hulk of carbon.
Right. Like my brain is right now.
Right.
Not so massive though.
Can you be done now?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot more. We didn't even touch on solar wind and things like that, but we leave it up to the listener to pursue these. Yeah, sure.
The listener or stuff from the science lab.
Right.
Or soon to be forthcoming sister podcasts with the esteemed Robert Lamb.
Yeah.
And his esteemed editor, Allison Loudermilk.
Yeah, and then we can just talk about noodling.
Yeah, we'll go back to what we do best, which is pumpkin stuff. So, Chuck.
Josh.
I can barely get it out.
I know.
The listener mail.
Okay. I feel so defeated. I'm just going to call this the best part of this podcast. This is on human experimentation, and we actually... As always, if we put out a call for some random weirdness, there's someone out there that listens to the show that has been there and done that.
Yeah, remember the kid whose father used him as a human shield when he was a baby?
Remarkable. Yeah. So I've got this one from Rebecca, and she says this. I just listened to the podcast on human experimentation and was thrilled that you featured something I can relate to because I'm a former NASA human test subject.
We just talked about NASA.
I know.
Weird.
Funny how that works. In 2006, I spent 3 months in a bed at a negative 6-degree tilt. Isn't that crazy? The effects of the human body at that angle are very similar to what an astronaut goes through after spending extended periods of time in space, which makes me wonder how they figured that out, because they're NASA.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
Eventually, NASA hopes to take that information they got from my time in bed to help astronauts stay in space longer and travel further from the Earth, and one day even land on Mars.
Wow.
As a test subject, everything I did, from surfing the internet, eating, reading, even using the bathroom, was at an angle.
Cool.
6-degree tilt. 5 days a week, I was wheeled to a lab where I was attached to an elaborate pulley system that pulled me onto a treadmill that was bolted to the wall. I walked, jogged, and ran a few miles a day to help my body avoid muscle atrophy, of course. Not everyone selected for the study was so lucky, though. Half of them did not get to run in this on this unique contraption, so they were just in bed the whole time. The data of the astronauts will have to do to experience like long extended trips into space. So while I didn't love everything about it, going to the restroom, for example, is a thrilling thing to have been a part of. I'm a huge fan, and I like to learn neat stuff.
Rebecca. Did you know that last part?
No, she's Rebecca.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, more neat stuff.
Well, thanks, Rebecca. Hats off to you for helping our astronauts.
She didn't mention how much she got paid, if at all, but I meant she did.
NASA has deep pockets, buddy.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. Well, if you have any stories about developing a faith source for the greater good of advancing human knowledge, you can send in an email to stuffpodcast@howstuffworks.com.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com. Want more How Stuff Works? Check out our blogs on the howstuffworks.com homepage.
On the Stuff to Blow Your Mind podcast, we explore the weirdest corners of technology, history, philosophy, mythology, and the human mind. And recently, we explored the methodology behind the doomsday clock that calculates humanity's countdown to annihilation. Who decides what factors bring us closer to the end? Check it out on Apple Podcasts, and please subscribe so you never miss another one of our episodes.
Hello, I am Tracy V. Wilson. I co-host the Stuff You Missed in History Class podcast with my friend and colleague Holly Fry. We tell stories that are a little less often covered in your typical history class, whether they are lesser-known figures in history or the lesser-known parts of more historically famous people's lives. Recently, we have talked about Afra Ben, who was a writer and a spy, and she was much better at one of those things than the other.
Hey there, this is Jonathan Strickland. I'm the host of Tech Stuff, where we explore all things technology, including the serious and the wacky. Want to know where your favorite tech memes come from? I did an episode about it. Check it out on the Apple Podcasts app. If you like what you hear, subscribe to the show.
Welcome to Stuff You Should Know from HowStuffWorks.com.
Charles W. Chuck Frank, Jerry Jerome Rowland, and just the whole How Stuff Works gang. Here to present to you Stuff You Should Know.
All three of us. How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm a little caffeinated, I should warn you.
Oh.
A little bit, like my teeth are about to just come right out of my face.
That's not good. We did a video about coelacanths.
Was it This Day in History about when they were discovered?
Yeah.
I ran across it.
Because it smacked as familiar to me, and, the constant fear we have of recording an entire podcast over is sort of always there.
Yeah, the fear that sometimes comes true.
Yeah. So I definitely went back and looked, and we knew we did something.
Yeah, we were trapped in a shipping container, right?
I didn't watch it.
I didn't. I saw enough to say, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That really weird thing we did.
But this is really cool, I think.
I think too, coelacanths were, they're interesting. Despite what the How Stuff Works article would lead you to believe.
It was a little thin, wasn't it?
A little bit.
It was alright.
Okay.
But luckily the rest of the internet is there for us.
Right. Thanks to, especially to Smithsonian and Mental Floss for this one, right?
Yeah, that Mental Floss was kind of neat, actually.
It was. So, you want to go back to the beginning? Actually, the second beginning, maybe?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what you're talking about now, so just...
Okay, well, follow me. We'll go back to the very beginning. We'll go back to something about 400 million years ago.
Okay.
During the Devonian period, which is aka the rise of the fish.
Yes.
The age of the fish, right? And in this Devonian period, there's a lot of stuff going on. Things have been swimming around for a while. On Earth, there's a nice atmosphere that's developed. The things in the ocean are starting to say, oh, what's out there? I want to see what's on land.
Yeah, maybe I can just crawl out and see.
Yeah, I want to taste clover. So they start trying, and during this period, there was the progression from the sea to the land.
Yeah.
And one of those things that was starting to develop legs to get onto land was called the coelacanth.
Yeah, which, it means hollow spine, which is, we'll get to. There's a reason for that.
Right.
And B, it's spelled Coelacanth, which is, not how you would think it might be spelled.
No.
Or pronounced, rather.
Right. Either one.
But it's coelacanth.
It is coelacanth.
And what it is a fish that is, like you said, been around for a long, long time. It's kind of funny looking. Mm-hmm. And we'll get into all the physical characteristics that make it unusual in a sec, but it is notable mainly for the fact that everyone thought it was gone forever.
Right. Until
it was suddenly discovered. This thing that swam with the dinosaurs was discovered anew in the 1930s.
Right.
And then again a little bit later on.
Yeah, because it pops up for the first time around 407 million years ago, I think I said. And then it just drops off 80 million years ago. So they said, well, a lot of stuff went the way of the dinosaur around the time the dinosaurs went away.
Yeah.
So that's probably what happened to the coelacanth. So it was quite a big surprise in the 1930s when a trawler that was out fishing, a trawler called the Nerine, which is captained by Hendrik Goosen off the coast of South Africa, came in, and as was Captain Goosen's wont, he contacted the director of the local museum in East London, a woman named Miss Marjorie Courtney Latimer. And she used to come over and look at the fish loads this guy would bring in, because they were buddies.
Yeah.
And he gave her a call, like normal, and said, I got a load, do you want to come look at it? And she was like, it's 2 days before Christmas, and it's blazing hot out. Don't forget, we're in South Africa at the time. And she's like, I don't feel like it. But the world was saved. The world of theology was saved this day.
Yeah.
Because this lady, Marjorie Courtney Latimer, was so nice that she decided to go look at the fish anyway, just to wish the captain and his crew a Merry Christmas.
So she takes a look at this fish, and here is her quote, as she recounted. It wasn't her quote at the time. Her quote at the time was probably a South African expletive. But she said later, I picked away the layers of slime to reveal the most beautiful fish I had ever seen. And of course only a fish lover can find this thing truly beautiful.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of ugly.
It is.
It was 5 feet long, a pale mauve blue with faint flecks of whitish spots. It had an iridescent silver blue-green sheen all over. It was covered in hard scales, and it had 4 limb-like fins and a strange little puppy dog tail. Not literally, of course. It was such, which would be great, though, actually.
Yeah, that's the dogfish that has that.
It was such a beautiful fish, more like a big china ornament, but I didn't know what it was. And it was pretty faithful that she was called in to look at this thing, because it ended up being one of the most important zoological finds of, history, probably.
Of the 20th century, at least.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, this woman's curiosity, something in her said, this is weird, this is unusual, this is something worth looking into. So she took it with her. This thing was like 5 feet long, just under 2 meters, about 100 and how many pounds?
127 pounds.
This is a significant fish.
Yeah.
And Ms. Courtney Latimer talked her way into a cab with it. She took a cab back to the East London Museum with this fish stuffed in the back seat. And she took it to the taxidermist and had it stuffed. Unfortunately, the taxidermist wasn't fully aware of how to preserve a fish for identification, and threw out the skeleton and the gills, which are what you need to ID a fish, apparently.
Well, she probably should have said something.
Well, she
like, this is no ordinary mount.
Yeah, right. She probably should have.
Or maybe she did, and he just...
The overture to the incidental music for a play about King Arthur, composed by Thomas Augusta Arne. Simon Standage conducted Contalea on Saturday matinee, where the music is supported by